All right, so we are going to go ahead and create this really cool effect. You can see it on my computer, where we are going to be putting text behind a cutout photo, but we're still going to have the background on that photo. The whole idea is so that the city of Austin is popping out from the photo. Also with this, you get to play with fonts. I want you to download fonts and use them for this. The first reason we want to download fonts is so that you can actually use them for your style guide for your magazine. The second reason we want to download fonts is because Adobe, while we love Adobe InDesign, they may not always have all the fonts we want. And so we go to places like DaFont and Font Squirrel for really cool fonts. So let's go ahead and get into this. So the first thing I want you to do is create a new document in InDesign. I am going to change my units to inches, and what we want is an 8.5 inch by 11 inch document. Click on facing pages, make sure the pages say 2, your start number says 2. Columns we don't need to worry about. Margins, let's keep them 0.5 inches all around. And then the top, bottom, and outside for our bleed should be 0.25 inches, the inside should be 0. So this is how we're going to set up our document, and I'm going to rename it as well. It's going to be called Greetings from Austin, and you should do underscore and your last name. So whatever your last name is, okay? And now we're going to click on Create. So right here we have a really cool spread. What you're going to do next is download this photo. Let me show you what this photo looks like. You are going to be downloading a photo that looks like this. Okay, it should be the Austin skyline. It should be named Austin Skyline Colorful, and you are going to go ahead and download that from the assignment. And what we're going to do is create a frame, and let's take our frame and start from the top of the bleed all the way to the bottom of the bleed. Here's our frame. We're going to go to File and then Place, and we're going to go ahead and put our skyline photo in here. So File, Open. It might be under your downloads if that's where you save photos. Right click on your photo, go to Fitting and Fill Frame Proportionally. That's going to fill this up really nice. And we do notice that this has a little bit of a watermark on it, but that's okay. It's a great photo still nonetheless. If you want to make your photo bigger, if you want to make your photo smaller, whatever you want to do with it. I'm going to make my photo just slightly bigger, but only just slightly, because I want these buildings to go up top a little bit more. So it's okay if my photo is bigger than my frame, because that's the effect I'm looking for here, okay? So once you get your photo exactly the way that you want it in InDesign, you're going to right-click on the photo, and you're going to click Edit with Adobe Photoshop. And that's going to open up Photoshop down here. And it's also going to open up your photo, and your photo is going to be the exact same size that it is in InDesign right here. And that's extremely important, so let's keep that in mind. Don't change the sizing of it at all. From here, we're going to cut out the background. So we are going to be cutting out the sky from this, and you'll see why I want to do that, okay? So we're going to be working with 2 photos in InDesign. You guys know how to cut out photos. Use the magnetic lasso tool. So if you hold down here, you'll get the magnetic lasso tool. And Miss McGuire is going to be working very quickly because she is trying to show you guys how to do something in a very quick manner. I want you guys to take your time cutting out these buildings so they don't look all janky. Okay, I want your buildings to look nice, clean lines. You know, feel free to blow up this photo a little bit more. And then if you want to work in chunks, you know, go ahead and work from chunks. Now again, remember, if you click delete and it says fill content aware, click cancel, what do you need to do? You need to go into your layers and uncheck the background. Now you can delete the background. All right, and we are going to keep on with the buildings. So I'm going to start my kind of lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool right there. I'm going to go around this building here. Again, keep in mind, Miss McGuire is not doing a super great job right now, and I want you guys to do this much better. Now, overall, this should maybe take you about 15 minutes. For me, I'm trying to make it only take me just like 2 or 3 so that I can move a little bit quicker in this tutorial for you guys, okay? So you guys take your time cutting out this photo. Don't feel like you need to rush it, because you don't need to rush it by any means. My cutout's going to look a little wonky, and that's okay, because I'm moving super fast through this right now, okay? And we're going to get inside of the owl building, and we're going to come back out of the owl building. And if any of you know why this is called the owl building, I'd be really interested to know. I don't really know the history behind this one building. I just know it's kind of called the owl building from a lot of people in Austin. I also know we have a new Jenga building as well. That's not really new. It's been here for a couple years now. We have the new boat building by the library. You guys know that one, right? Okay, and I'm going to connect this chunk over here and hit delete. And then I'm just going to come over to the other side and delete this chunk of the building as well. All right, or not delete the chunks of the building, my bad, I said that wrong. Delete the sky, we're deleting the sky. We do not want the sky. We do want the sky eventually, but we don't want the sky right now, okay? Boom, ba-dum, dum, dum. Let's go around here and connect this off like that. All right, great. Now, make sure if you want to get out of magnetic lasso tool, you have to click right click and deselect. I'm now going to use the eraser tool, and I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger to erase the rest of the sky. That's how it's going to work for me. And I really like to use the eraser tool. I know it's not everybody's favorite thing to use in Photoshop. For me, I really like how versatile it is. You can go from, you can go 1 pixel and literally erase things that are just 1 pixel big. You can also erase things, with a super big eraser like I have right now, right? And you can erase lots of details like this, okay? So for me, I like the eraser tool, but I get it, it's so not for everybody. So if you have learned to do something else, or you'd like to use something else to erase the background, go for it. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to click up here, and we're going to go File and then Save. And this is going to pop up. I like to save on the computer. I don't like to save in a cloud. For me, I've definitely had documents saved in the cloud and then disappear. So I'm going to save on my computer. And I'm going to go ahead and just save this as Austin Skyline Updated. Okay? Save it as the Photoshop format. Don't save it as anything else. We want to save it as a PSD file, which that's what it's going to save like. Okay? Now this should save on your desktop or your downloads, wherever you save stuff. And then go back into InDesign. And this is the tricky part, so make sure you are paying attention here. Click on this background photo. Right click, copy, or Command C. Then, instead of Command V, we are going to click Paste in Place. So right click, Paste in Place. What that does is that gives us a second photo. So you can kind of see as I move this around, I have a second photo. We want to keep it exactly in the same place, and what we're going to do is delete the photo from it. So this gives us a frame that had a photo at the same size that the background photo is at. So now we have 2 frames. One has a photo in it, one does not. With this frame selected, you're going to go to File, Place, and now you're going to place your PSD file like this. Okay? Awesome. And if you notice, I actually had a couple areas that I didn't get 100% from the background. So I might go back into this, and I might actually click the eraser tool. I have to have my layer selected. And I might actually just go back in. I just noticed there were just a couple little slivers up at the top here that I did not get 100%. And I'm just going to click File and Save, and it should completely update it for me. So now, as you can see, it's updated. We're going to delete it. Come back, File, Place, and there's no little weird slivers, maybe just one little weird sliver kind of right up here. So I'm just going to click on this here and just kind of get my final eraser, make sure I'm getting everything I want to erase. Oops, nope, file save. We want to just do file save. Okay, so in InDesign, we're going to click on that PSD file. So this is why I'm saying, like, I'm moving super fast through Photoshop, but I just want to show you, you want to have your cutouts done in here, and then we're going to click File and Open, okay? Now, your new cutout should be pretty much the exact same size as your previous cutout, and as you can see, when I expand this, this is a cutout, right? We have Austin, but the skyline is cut out and we want it to stay exactly in the same place. Okay, so let's not move it too much. What you're going to do from here is create a text box. Use a font that you have just recently downloaded, and we are going to write greetings from Austin. Okay, now I'm going to make this a cool font. You guys can choose whatever font you want to. This is a font that we've downloaded and used for yearbook, and I'm going to make it just slightly bigger. I'm also going to put this into two different text boxes. So I'm going to have greetings in one text box and from Austin in the other. My greetings is going to go right here. From Austin is going to go right here. Okay, so just like that. Now, in order to kind of create this pop-out effect here, all you have to do is click on the cutout photo, so the photo that you cut out in Photoshop, and click Arrange and Bring to Front. And that's going to allow buildings to come up on top of your text. Okay, so you can kind of see if I moved from Austin down, it looks like we have buildings that are kind of coming over on top of it. Totally up to you on how you want to design this. If you want, you know, your buildings to be more on top, go for that. If you want the text to kind of be hiding behind your buildings, you know, completely up to you guys how you want it. So I'm just going to move things around to the way that I want them to be. Take my photo, I'm going to expand it back up to the top, and that's how it looks. Of course, if you don't like this look, move things around to get it the way you want. The next thing I want you guys to do is, on your text, let's go ahead and right here, this is called the eyedropper tool. Now, InDesign has a cool new tool called the color theme tool, and it kind of has shown right here. What you do is, all you do is use your eyedropper, and you see how the blue is kind of selected right now? I haven't clicked on anything. I'm just hovering over this photo. We're just going to click on the photo. And what you're going to notice down here is now I have a color palette of 5 photos, and potentially even more if I wanted them, that all are colors that are dominant in this photo. So it's a very cool tool. And what you can do is you are going to add this theme to your swatches. Okay, so if you come up here to swatches, you're going to see colorful theme, drop down, and now you have all of these colors from this photo. So what are we going to do with this? We are going to take our text and change the color of it. So I'm going to change greetings to that pink color. So I'm just going to select it like that. I'm going to change from Austin to, I don't know, the blue color looks really nice. Oh yeah, I really like that. And now I'm just going to take this photo, put it back over on top of my greetings from Austin. And the last but not least thing I want to do is add a drop shadow. So I'm going to select this photo, add a drop shadow, and you see what happens? It looks like the buildings are kind of coming up off of the photo. If you feel like your photo looks a little pixelated, you can definitely go to Display Performance, click on High Quality Display, and it should kind of up the quality of this photo just a little bit more. And then from there, if you feel good about your photo, what you're going to do is click on File, Export, and then make sure it's exported like this. Greetings from Austin with your last name. So I'll change it to my last name. Make sure you put your last name on here. We're going to save it, you know, somewhere you can find it. Desktop was usually the place for me. And make sure it's an Adobe PDF print. One more thing, make sure right here under Pages, you don't click on Pages. Do not click on Pages. Make sure it's exporting as a spread. We click Export. Okay. It's going to take a hot minute to work its magic here, and you're going to see your final spread like this. Okay, the photo itself, not the most high quality photo, but I really like the photo as far as the skyline. And as you can see, my cutout job is not that great, so definitely take your time to actually cut out the photo the way that you want it to look. Okay, and that is how you do that cutout effect, or that pop out effect, using cutouts in both InDesign and Photoshop. And again, if you did it in the sense that you broke this up from, if you saved it as pages and not spreads, it's definitely going to be one page and then a second page, not a spread that it looks like right now. And that is how you do that effect.